Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the session Custom Code Adaptation for SAP S/4HANA. This session is about how to handle the custom code while converting your Business Suite system or ERP system to the new S/4HANA software of SAP. And I am your speaker for today. My name is Olga Dolinskaja, and I am working in ABAP platform product management. Okay, let's take a short look at the agenda. First, I will start with a short motivation. What is S/4HANA is about? Is a new software of SAP, new product family. What does it mean for your custom code? What is the challenge with bringing your custom code from the traditional ERP world to S/4HANA? And then we will go to the custom code adaptation process in detail. We take a look at it and how is it possible to bring your custom code to S/4HANA, make it runnable, which processes does SAP offer for you, how does every process step look like, what the tools are there for your convenience, how to adapt the custom code and make it runnable in the new S/4HANA world. And in the end, you will see a summary and outlook at the new features and tools. Okay, I think it's nothing new for almost everybody of you that S/4HANA is a new SAP digital core software. And it's optimized for SAP HANA database. It comes along with new architecture, with new data models, and it follows the principle of one, meaning implementing the same functionality only once, and to avoid redundancies in software. It comes along with a new Fiori-based user interface and offers also both on-premise and cloud deployment models. What does it mean for you, for your custom code? It's important to understand that S/4HANA is a new product family, so you cannot do upgrade from your Business Suite system or ERP system to S/4HANA, but SAP offers the system conversion path from the ERP or Business Suite system to S/4HANA, and also you can take your custom code to the new S/4HANA world. This is the most important message here. What is the challenge for a custom code if you do the system conversion from your traditional Business Suite software to the S/4HANA? This is on the left-hand side how the traditional SAP Business Suite system looks like. You see the SAP standard code, which is, of course, in the system, is there, and you have developed since years custom code on top of it. And it happened in more or less open source code manner, meaning that you could always use everything that you found in the traditional Business Suite system and use it for your custom code developments. Meaning, for example, if you found a function module which satisfies your business needs, then you can use it in your custom code. Or, for example, you call classes, methods, interfaces, you use the data dictionary, SAP standard data types, and so on and so on. Of course, it was very flexible and convenient for you and for your custom code development, since you have found a lot of already available SAP standard code there for your convenience. But on the other side, this led to the tight coupling of your custom code with SAP standard code. It was never a problem, since SAP always offered the standard compatibility within different SAP Business Suite upgrades or service specs. And therefore, your custom code, which worked on the ERP 6, then worked on the next service spec of ERP 6, and so on. But the situation changes completely if you step into new S/4HANA world. In the new S/4HANA software, this is complete new product family, and what we have done there, we simplified a lot of code. We simplified the application logic, and we changed also the data models, meaning that we removed columns from the databases, we removed the fields, we removed the whole databases, and so on and so forth. Of course, SAP tried to keep the guaranteed SAP compatibility as far as possible. meaning that if you bring your custom code from the Business Suite to S/4HANA, you could expect that the most part of it will still run as before. Of course, we tried to keep this external interfaces stable. We tried to provide CDS compatibility views for the changes of the data models. But nevertheless, the situation will look mostly like you see here on the screen. These green objects on the right-hand side, this will be your custom code which will run as before, and these red objects will be parts of your custom code which will not run as before, meaning either they bring syntax errors, or they deliver empty database tables, or they run not as expected, and so on. And this is clear that such custom code parts as these red objects must be adapted. I just show you a couple of examples how it could like. If you go to the S/4HANA, I have a couple of custom code reports which I taken over from the ERP world, and I would like to start them on the S/4HANA 1809 release. And here I would like to call the MB11 transaction, and I execute my report and see the error message: the transaction MB11 is obsolete and not available. Okay, I will try another one, and here I call the MadGRP transaction 03, execute this one, and I've got the runtime error. Okay, let's take another example. Would like to list the completed sales orders and execute this report, and what I see here, I see the empty database table which is presented. So these are my custom code reports which were perfect in the ERP world, but they don't work as expected in the S/4HANA, and therefore they must be adapted. Okay, luckily we haven't not simplified a lot of things in S/4HANA, but we also written down each and every change in the S/4HANA in so-called Simplification Database. Simplification Database is nothing else as the table in the S/4HANA which contains so-called simplification items, and each simplification item describes the change which we have made in the S/4HANA software, along with impact how your custom code is influenced by this change, and also recommendations provided for you via dedicated SAP notes how your custom code can be adapted to this particular change. And SAP provides also tools which are based on the simplification database, on this simplification information there, which allows to analyze your custom code and adapt it to the new S/4HANA world. Custom code adaptation. What you see here is the SAP S/4HANA system conversion process. Maybe you have seen this picture before if you visited any S/4HANA system conversion related sessions. It consists of two phases: preparation phase and realization phase, and the tools which you see here are probably the same tools which you know also from the traditional ERP upgrades. Like, for example, checking the system requirements before doing the upgrade. Maintenance planner is here the tool of choice, and also software update manager will install the new SAP HANA database and the S/4HANA software, and so on. The tools are pretty the same, but there are also some additional steps, like, for example, at system requirements you will check if your system is Unicode capable, because only Unicode systems can be converted to the S/4HANA, and so on. And also there is an additional step regarding SI checks. This is the so-called simplification items check steps, which allows to find out only the simplification items which are relevant for this particular system conversion from ERP to S4. But we focus on the custom code, and custom code adaptation process consists also of two phases, preparation phase and realization phase. And during the preparation phase, we recommend to do some kind of custom code scoping, meaning you developed probably a lot of custom code since a long time in your landscape, and if you do the system conversion, probably you don't want to take the whole custom code to the S4HANA world, because we have found out that actually most likely 60% of the custom code which you have developed in your landscapes is not executed in productive environment. This means if you will take the 100% of your custom code and bring it over to the S4HANA, you will need to adapt the whole custom code, which you will not even execute on S4. And therefore, we recommend really to think about custom code scoping to find out which custom codes is really used in your productive environment, and then take over only this custom code to the S4. And the next step will be, after you decided which custom code is suitable for the S4HANA world, then we suggest to do the custom code analysis and compare your custom code using the SAP tools, using the Simplification Database with the new S4HANA software to check for the S4HANA readiness. And after the software update manager was running and installed the new SAP HANA database and the new S4HANA software, then you can go on to the functional adaptation and adapt the parts of your custom code which are not running as expected. And in the end, you can do some kind of custom code optimization, meaning to do performance tuning and do some code push down and so on. This is just briefly the overview about the custom code related adaptation process, how it looks like. These 4 steps are very important. And I will go to every step in detail, and we will talk about all of them. The whole process is also well described in our rollout information on the SAP community. Therefore, I recommend you, if you deal with the custom code adaptation for S4HANA, just visit this SAP community and read our blogs. It provides good guidance for the customers for custom code handling. Okay, custom code scoping. How to find out which custom code is suitable for the S4HANA, which custom code is really productively used. In order to fulfill this task, we recommend to do the usage tracking of custom code, meaning turning on either UPL in your solution manager system and track in production which custom code is really used. Or we recommend a successor of the UPL as Simon. ABAP, the transaction as Simon is ABAP call monitor, together with SUCG transaction, which both provide the usage tracking of the custom code directly in your ERP system. So you can do it directly on ERP without using Solution Manager, and collect usage data with ABAP call monitor, and also use SUCG to aggregate the collected usage data. Also, we offer the new SAP Fiori app based on S4HANA 1809, which is capable to detect the unused custom code based on the usage data and collect it to their transport request, which can be then used by the software update manager during the system conversion to delete unused code prior to the S4HANA conversion. Okay, so as I already said, we recommend to monitor the usage of your custom code with ABAP call monitor. ABAP call monitor is available with SAP NetWeaver release 750, but it's also available on older releases with STPI add-on. You can install it directly on productive system and turn it on. The problem with ABAP call monitor, the advantage of ABAP call monitor with regard to UPL is that ABAP call monitor monitors not only execution of your custom code, but also so-called calling business processes, which business transactions, which URLs and so on initiated the execution of ABAP code. Meaning such business processes can be tracked also. And the problem with ABAP Call Monitor was that ABAP Call Monitor collected the data only for 7 days in the productive system, and then the system would overflow with the data. That's why this data was deleted. Therefore, we provided the new transaction SUCG, which aggregates the collected data of ABAP Call Monitor, so you can turn on ABAP Call Monitor with this UCG without any problems and execute it on the productive system. And SUCG is also available for all the NetWeaver, Greta, or equals 7.0 releases, and you can install it via S-Node. So you turn on ABAP Call Monitor along with this UCG and monitor the execution of your code in productive system. And then after you're ready with this, you can analyze the usage data in the new SAP Fiori app custom code migration and define your custom code migration scope based on the collected usage data. And then you can remove the unused code during S/4HANA conversion automatically with Software Update Manager. Okay, let's take a briefly look how ABAP Call Monitor looks like along with SUCG. I have here an ERP system, an old ERP system, and therefore have installed here the ABAP Call Monitor as STPI add-on, and therefore I call ABAP Call Monitor like SDF, SSimon. And what you see here, the ABAP Call Monitor is active and collects the usage data. And here I can anytime initiate the data collection or stop it by pressing the Activate button, or I can click to display data and I can browse the data collected so far and take a look on the collected data. Here, for example, the results of ABAP Call Monitor are presented here. Here you see these request entry points like initiated business processes which initiated the execution of ABAP code. Here you see which program name was called, which object was called, how many times, and so on. And here you can navigate, for example. Here you can show the called request, or for example here, calling requests for this one. So drill down techniques are also here. Or for example, you can see the show the time evaluation, because this request was called 21 times, and you see this time distributions along the certain time frame along these days. Okay, this is the collected usage data, and what you can also see here, you can display the call graph. For example, if I'm interested in the entry point, it has already said these entry points are calling business processes which are not available in UPL, and it could be transaction or remote function call which initiated the execution of ABAP code, or for example, batch job, update task, and so on. And I'm interested in the transaction. And I see here all the requests which were executed by the transactions. So for here, for example, SUCG was called, or SS16 was called, and here again I can navigate and drill down to the results. Okay, this is just short overview about ABAP Call Monitor. And if you go to the SUCG transaction, you will see here that this transaction looks pretty simple. It is also active. The aggregation was scheduled, and you can also activate, deactivate it, and you can anytime create the snapshot of the usage data collected by ABAP Call Monitor so far. And here you have the possibility to manage snapshots. Here I can take a look how many snapshots have been created in the system so far. Okay, and you can download the snapshots to file, upload for file, export and import via RFC, and so on. So this is just the aggregation of the usage data. You can't browse the aggregated usage data here, but the task of this transaction is the aggregation. Okay. So far to ABAP call monitor and SUCG. And how to do the custom code scoping, we will see later on in the app. Okay, after you have done the custom code scoping, then you can go on with custom code analysis and compare your custom code using the new SAP Fiori app, which offer for you for custom code analysis. And this Fiori app will use the information which is stored in the Simplification Database and use as the foundation the remote ABAP test cockpit infrastructure to check your custom code against the S/4HANA simplification and find out the incompatibilities in your custom code which must be corrected. And technical infrastructure for custom code analysis, as I already said, is the ABAP Test Cockpit. ABAP Test Cockpit is our traditional quality assurance tool. And starting with SAP NetWeaver 751, we started to offer so-called remote ATC analysis, meaning that you can set up one central ATC system in your landscape and connect it via RFC to your development systems and check for statistical quality assurance your development systems using these central check systems, using this central check system. And the advantage is that you always execute the same check, the same check variant. Code inspector check variant must be maintained only once on the central check system, and the same checks are used to check the whole landscape, independent of the software releases on which are these development systems. And this check logic is executed centrally. And also this remote ATC infrastructure is fully integrated into development, meaning that if developer on the, for example, check system A is developing on the older release, he or she can benefit from this central ATC infrastructure and use the newest checks which are provided on the central check system. All kinds of custom code are supported for ITC checks, including modification and enhancements. And we use this remote ATC infrastructure to check also your custom code for S/4HANA readiness. For this purpose, you must download the Simplification Database from SAP Service Marketplace onto central check system. And then the ATC will use Simplification Database, the information provided there, and ATC checks for S/4HANA, and will check your custom code for S/4HANA readiness remotely in your development systems. You can find more information about, again, in the SAP community, and which S/4HANA readiness checks are provided. We cover both simplification use cases and SAP HANA use cases, since some customers do the S/4HANA and SAP HANA migration at one step, and therefore the both checks are provided. Simplification use cases like the functionality which is not available anymore in S/4HANA world, or for example data model changes or data type changes, all these things are covered by with the S/4HANA related checks. And additionally, SAP HANA checks check for example, usage of database vendor specifics, like, for example, usage in your custom code of the native SQL of database vendor, which will not work on SAP HANA database. Or, for example, checking for such things like database operations on pool and cluster tables were removed in S/4HANA world. Or, for example, such things like select or open cursor statements without order by. And there is a new check variant, code inspector check variant, S/4HANA readiness remote, and which includes both S/4HANA and SAP HANA checks, which is a dedicated check variant to check your custom code for S/4HANA readiness. With each and every S/4HANA release, we provide also dedicated S/4HANA check variants, like, for example, for the S/4HANA conversion to 1809, there is 1809 dedicated check variant, or 1909, there is a dedicated 1909 check variant, so you can use in between different S/4HANA releases also the new check variants to check your code for the S/4HANA readiness. Okay, just to mention, the whole analysis of S4HANA findings can be also executed directly in ABAP Test Cockpit. If you know ABAP Test Cockpit tool, then there are also, if you schedule ATC run in your landscape, then there are some things which will help you also to analyze your code for S4HANA readiness, like, for example, statistics view, which will deliver ATC results with different grouping possibility, like, for example, grouping it by application component or simplified referenced objects, and so on. And we also provide dedicated simplification information from the Simplification Database in ATC result list, which allow you to understand what is the impact of your custom code, what does this particular ATC finding relate to which S4HANA change. And also double-click navigation from ATC result to the corresponding source code objects are provided, and so on and so forth. It's just to mention that this analysis you can do with traditional ATC transaction in SAP GUI, but we recommend to use the SAP Fiori app custom code migration, which was delivered with S4HANA 1809. And SAP Fiori app custom code migration allows you to do both, to do custom code scoping based on the usage data, and afterwards to analyze your custom code for S4HANA readiness. Technically, this custom code migration app is based on ATC remote infrastructure, so you have underneath the same remote ATC with the same checks, but on top you have the convenient filter capabilities, you have graphical representation, and you can focus your efforts on only scoped custom code, meaning the custom code which is really used. And this app allows to do the scoping there. Okay. So finalizing this, you have different custom code analysis options. You can do a custom code analysis based on the central ATC check system. As we recommend to take the SAP Basis 752. And this is like doing the central ATC check system with remote ATC, and you can analyze S4HANA findings. You will get the simplification information in ATC result and so on. But if you take the SAP Fiori app custom code migration provided with S4HANA 1809, then you will get such benefits like you can scope your custom code, meaning you can focus only on used custom code. And beyond this, the app will deliver you also information which parts of custom code can be adapted in automatically. Because also for custom code adaptation of your incapabilities in your custom code, we provide also dedicated quick fixes. Beyond this, you can also use this SAP Fiori app custom code migration in SAP Cloud Platform within SAP Cloud Platform ABAP environment. We delivered it with SAP Cloud Platform ABAP environment 1908 in August, and this means that this custom code Fiori app will run in the cloud in ABAP environment, and it will connect via RFC and Cloud Connector to your on-premise landscape. And the advantage is you don't need to set up the central check system in your landscape, and you can use this cloud solution to check your custom code, and you have the whole benefits of the custom code migration app as on-premise. Okay, now I have talked a lot, and now it's time for the demo to show you this SAP Fiori app custom code migration. So I'm here on my Fiori Launchpad, and I configured the custom code migration app for use. It's called custom code migration. Just click here, and you can create different custom code migration projects for different S4HANA releases within the same app. And I will create the new one. Just pressing this plus button, and I will give it a name. And here I can choose the target release We'll take S/4HANA 1809. And here you can provide if you want to use the loan material number of S/4HANA. If you choose this option, then you will get more findings than if you use the classical material number of 18 characters. And you have here the option to choose the material number or not. Here, very important, I provide here the RFC destination to the ERP system where I collected my usage data. And here, we'll press go, and I configured here the ERP destination to the RFC destination to the ERP system, where ABAP call monitor was running and along with SUCG. So I add the usage data to this custom code migration project, and what you see here, the same snapshots which I showed you in the GUI, in ABAP call monitor and SUCG in ERP system are also here. I can choose this one, this snapshot, and apply it to my custom code migration project. So in this way, I can add collected usage data with ABAP call monitor and aggregate it with SUCG to my custom code migration project. And if you use UPL and collect your usage data in Solution Manager, you can just define the RFC destination to your Solution Manager system and upload the collected UPL data also here in the app. This is also supported. So if you use UPL, just feel free to upload your collected data here. But of course, the prerequisite is the Solution Manager 7.2. Okay, press apply, and you see this source of this data is ABAP call monitor, and then I press here the save button, and I see here, if I press refresh button, something happens here, the loading of usage data. The app loads my usage data here, and I can just press refresh from time to time and see what happens here. Okay, now my project is ready for scoping. The usage data was loaded, and you see from 19 objects which I use in this example, only 13 objects are scoped, meaning only these 13 objects are really used in my productive environment. Therefore, this is recommendation of based on the ABAP call monitor collected usage data, how many objects should I take to my new S/4HANA world. And pressing again refresh, sometimes the analysis also is finished, so ATC was also running behind the app and also was analyzing my custom code for S/4HANA readiness. So, and now I can do so-called scoping. I just go to this scope button, and we see here the graphical representation of the scope information. You see here, for example, this blue rectangle means that this data, this custom code is in scope by request entry point, meaning it was really executed by calling business process and collected by ABAP call monitor. There are also this green one. This is in scope by reference, meaning that, of course, we can't measure this static data with ABAP call monitor, but this static data, which is also referenced, will be also taken over and added to the scope. And here I can go, for example, to scope request entry points and take a look at my business processes which initiated this data collection. The same usage information is also here. Or I can, for example, go to the scope packages and decide and adjust my scope manually. And here you see I have here 12 objects of 18 which are scoped currently. And here I can navigate and, for example, if I apply here some settings and sort my collected usage data with last used and group it with last used also with these settings, then I will see here, for example, this report was lastly used in 2017, and I can leave it behind. I will not take it over to the S/4HANA. I will delete it from my scope. So in this way, I can just manually adjust the scope. And beyond this, for example, there are also some objects which are not in scope, like, for example, new developments, because if you do new developments on the system, then it's not possible that you have usage data for these new developments, and therefore you can add these new developments manually to the scope. And here I will go and just add here this program to the scope. Okay, add this object to the scope, and actually I expect to have here in the scope only this one, but I see here that this class was also added automatically, because the program references the class, and also this object was automatically taken over and added to the scope. So after I'm finished with the scope definition, I can go back and here press this button Save Scope as Transport Request. If I do this, then the transport request will be created, and this transport request contains all the custom code objects which are added to the scope based on the usage data and also adjusted manually. And you can this transport request will go also to the data which are we have here a little problem with the name Save Scope Transport Request. Actually, to the transport request will be added the custom code which is not used. So in the later release, we renamed this button. And actually, the custom code which is not used will be added to the scope and to the transport request. And this transport request you can add to the Software Update Manager, and the Software Update Manager will delete unused code, not scoped code from the system before doing the system upgrade to S/4HANA. So far to the scoping. After the scoping is done, we can go to the analysis, and here you have different graphical possibilities to see your custom code findings, to see your custom ATC results in graphical way, and you can view by check title or object name, package, and so on. And actually, if I press here Analyze Findings, then I will get all the findings which Custom Code Migration app detected. All the incompatibilities of my custom code are listed now here. And here I have different filters which allows me to focus on different types of findings. For example, I can group the findings by check title or simplification item category and so on. Very interesting to focus on the findings which are in scope. So the findings, the custom code which is in scope, which will go to the S/4HANA, and based on the usage information, which is also used. And also what is interesting is the quick fix availability, because for almost 60% of findings, we provide the quick fixes which allow you to fix your custom code in semi-automatic way to adapt it to S/4HANA. And now I will focus only on the findings which have no quick fixes, and you see I have only 2 which I need to adjust manually, because all other findings will be later on fixed with quick fixes which are provided in ABAP development tools. So far to custom code migration app. And after this demo, I just encourage you to join our SAP usability testing. And I've just heard from the colleagues they have empty slots for usability testing of this custom code migration app for Thursday. And this allows you to test, to play around with the custom code migration app, and to provide directly feedback to our product teams, to our development teams which develop the custom code migration app. So I just encourage you to book the free slots for Thursday if you have time, and participate at SAP usability testing. Okay, you can find it usability test center in the hall 8. Okay. After you have done the custom code analysis and installed the new S4HANA software, then you can adapt your custom code. Of course, you need to adjust modification with SPDD and SPRU. And our recommendation is to set so much SAP code as you can back to standard. But actual adaptation takes place in ABAP development tools in Eclipse. And as I already mentioned, we provide the dedicated quick fixes based on the quick fix Eclipse technology, which allow you to fix the findings in your custom code in a semi-automatic way. ABAP development tools in Eclipse integrate ABAP Test Cockpit. It's provided in the context menu, run as ABAP Test Cockpit with, and the results are shown in ATC problems view. And also you will see in the results the simplification information from the simplification database. You can navigate to the dedicated SAP notes and so on. And regarding the custom code adaptation in ABAP development tools in Eclipse, we offer quick fixes to minimize your adaptation efforts for such. And we started to offer the quick fixes with S4HANA 1809. So you will find all the things, all the quick fixes already there in S4HANA 1809. And corresponding ABAP development tools release 3.0. And we provide quick fixes for such known issues like, for example, missing or the by clause, or for example, for material number adjustments and amount field length extensions, or for data model changes, for example, the conf VBark table was eliminated, BCG table was changed, and so on. And in order to speed up your work, we also provide the mass-enabled quick fixes, so meaning that you can execute these quick fixes in your ABAP development tools in Eclipse for your whole custom code packages in one shot. Again, there is information about it in the SAP community, and now I will show you a demo how it looks like with custom code adaptation with ABAP development tools in Eclipse. So I have here the ABAP development tools in Eclipse and the package with my custom code, which I just brought over to the S4HANA. And if you remember this example from the beginning, where I tried to execute the MB11 transaction, and I tried the transaction MB11 was obsolete, and I've tried also to execute another one, and I've got runtime error. We will try to analyze this report. I'm just execute run as ABAP Test Cockpit with, and here I will apply the S4HANA readiness check variant from ATC, and we'll check for 1809 release. And I will get these results. Here, see also error, corresponding error marker, and in ABAP Development Tools editor, here that this functionality is not available. And I can also navigate here to the corresponding SAP node directly from the ABAP Development Tools in Eclipse. And here on support launch part, I will see here the information about what happened with my MB11 transaction. And we see here that the transaction were actually decommitted and were replaced by the transaction meager already since release 4.6. But actually in the S4HANA, this MB transaction were decommitted, so I need to use this single screen transaction Migo. Okay, just go there and replace it through Migo, and done with it. I will just analyze the second finding and also navigate to the corresponding SAP node. And this SAP node will tell me that actually the maintain of article hierarchy via the transaction major P is not available anymore. Here, can read it here. And this maintenance of article hierarchy must happen through the transaction W MyGRP, which are richer in the functionality. So I need to replace this one with W. Okay, save, activate, and just recheck this ATC problem list. Okay, it's empty now, and if I now execute this report and start the MB11 transaction, you see the Migo transaction starts, the new one, and execute it again, and I will try to start W MyGRP transaction, and you see the article hierarchy starts as well. So in this way you can just apply the quick fixes to custom code. Now I would like to check the whole custom code package for S/4HANA readiness. So it takes some time, and ATC is running and checking the custom code. And here I have a long list with 241 errors and a lot of different findings. And here, for example, stepping to this one, I see here this is select, has no order by clause, and here I will apply the quick fix, Control-1 shortcut, and it offers me the possibility to add the order by and to sort the table Mara with order by clause. So this would be fine, but if I do it with each and every finding of this long list, it will take a lot of time to adapt to apply the quick fixes for every finding, and therefore I'll just mark the whole findings list and use the context menu recommended quick fixes, and in this way I will make use of the mass-enabled quick fixes and apply the quick fixes at one shot. And here this wizard says me that 239 of 288 selected findings can be adapted via quick fixes, and you see here these findings. You can also group by object and see your custom objects, in which custom objects which problems happen. And if you go to the next screen here, transport request, okay. Here you see for each and every custom code object the quick fix proposal. Meaning on the left side you see the editors, how your custom code looks like, and the proposed quick fix is in the refactored source on the right hand side. And here you see, for example, here select from the conf, which doesn't store sales conditions anymore, must be replaced with this API usage. And select from the BCG table must be also replaced through the calling the function, getting the leading ledger, and calling another function, and so on. Here, for example, this one is missing order by statement, and here you see a lot of quick fixes proposed for their SD module simplifications, like, for example, for the elimination, with elimination of the table VBUG, the status fields were just moved over to other tables for sales documents, for deliveries, or for billing documents to different tables like VBUG and LIKP and VBRK and so on. So such things. And I can go through and take a look at each and every proposal of the quick fix. And if I'm satisfied with this proposal, I can press finish button, and all quick fixes will be applied at once for my ATC findings list. And what you see here, then ATC is running again, if you see in this status line, and checking my custom code after applying the quick fixes. So after applying the quick fixes, the code was corrected, the code was saved and also activated, and ATC is running again and checking my custom code. take some time, and hopefully the results will appear now. Yes, and we see here from this long findings list, I have only 63 errors left, which I need to adapt manually, for which there are no quick fixes available. Okay, in this way you can use the quick fixes to adapt your custom code in semi-automatic way in ABAP development tools in Eclipse. And in the end, after you are ready with the functional adaptation of your custom code, we recommend to do custom code optimization. Please keep in mind that with S/4HANA, we deliver not only the new simplified application, we deliver also the new technology stack, meaning in ABAP platform we also happened a lot of things. And therefore, we recommend to optimize your code for SAP HANA database, like using different code pushdown techniques like CDS views, MDPs, and so on, to use to apply the performance tuning using the SQL monitor to tune your critical SQLs. Also, we recommend to use the new capabilities like embedded analytics, meaning executing reporting directly embedded on your transactional data. Also, we recommend to decouple your custom code from the SAP standard code in order to prepare for the future, for the cloud. Use modern ABAP language, and also we shipped with S/4HANA 1909 release the first unmanaged scenario for ABAP RESTful programming model, which is the future for SAP Fiori-based applications. So please keep in mind we also deliver the new technology stack and not only the new applications with S/4HANA. Also in ABAP platform has happened a lot of things. So SQL Monitor allows you to tune the performance of critical SQLs. It's already available with NetWeaver 7.0, and it offers you the distribution of the performance for your SQLs and answers you the questions which are the most expensive and most frequently executed SQLs, and so on and so forth. Okay, what is the most important key takeaway from this session? S/4HANA is a completely new product family, and the custom code must be adapted to its changes which are stored in the Simplification Database. We recommend to start your S/4HANA journey today to turn on the usage analysis with ABAP Call Monitor and aggregate the collected ABAP Call Monitor data with the SUCJ transaction. The remote ETC infrastructure is essential and very important for all static checks on your ABAP custom code, including S/4HANA readiness. And the new SAP Fiori app custom code migration guides you through the custom code adaptation process, beginning with scoping based on the usage data, and you can also adjust the scope manually, and supports you at removing the unused custom code, supports you at analysis of your custom code for S/4HANA. And in the end, ABAP development tools with mass-enabled quick fix is the way to adapt your custom code for S/4HANA in a semi-automatic way, and almost 60% of your findings can be adapted using the ABAP development tool with mass-enabled quick fixes. So we recommend to optimize your custom code using the new ABAP platform, using the new ABAP platform stack for S/4HANA, using code pushdown techniques, using performance tuning, and start to use ABAP RESTful programming model. What is the future? We plan to offer the effort estimation capabilities in the app, which are often asked by the customers. How much effort does it mean for me to adapt all these findings? And we plan to offer these effort estimation capabilities in the app. Also, we plan to offer the analysis of source code complexity and also integrate the modification data to detect the candidates which in the custom code which can be set back to the standard. We also plan to integrate SQL Monitor for performance analysis into the app. And so far, the SAP Fiori app custom code migration supports S/4HANA conversion projects, but we also plan to support the greenfield projects as well using this app. Regarding the quick fixes for S/4HANA, we plan to offer additional quick fixes for further S/4HANA findings, and also quick fixes for non-source code artifacts, like, for example, for data objects, and also for code modernization, like, for example, new ABAP SQL syntax or usage of the released APIs, and so on. What can you do today in your business suite landscape if you want to get your custom code prepared for S/4HANA, but you haven't started the journey yet? You should, again and again, I repeat it, switch on the ABAP call monitor and use UCG on your productive system, or alternatively, if you have no possibility to turn it on, then use UPL along with Solution Manager. By the way, you can also use Solution Manager 7.2 and use SCMON in your productive system. Solution Manager is capable of getting this SCMON data into Solution Manager database. We recommend to create the new code S/4HANA ready, meaning setting up the remote ATC with S/4HANA readiness check, and really do this checking of your custom code for S/4HANA readiness prior to S/4HANA conversion, already in your development systems, and gain the practical skills in ABAP development tools in Eclipse, and learn the new so-called must-have S/4HANA technologies. What you could do, you could start to adapt your code in your development system partly. For example, you can convert your system to Unicode, and you can fix SAP HANA-related ATC findings. For example, if you're already on the SAP HANA database, then you can fix such issues like no order by clause in selects. And you can optimize performance-critical SQLs, which you find in SQL Monitor as well. And you can also estimate custom code adaptation efforts in your ERP landscape, like setting up remote ATC and running regular S/4HANA checks, and see how much of findings will you get for the S/4HANA. Okay. And I encourage you to visit our SAP community for ABAP testing and analysis, because all the things which I told you, all the demos which I showed you today, are also provided there as blogs dedicated for each and every topic. Everything which I talked to you today is also composed as blogs provided in our SAP community, and our SAP colleagues, development colleagues from ATC team and SAP Fiori custom code migration are very responsive and can answer every question. And if you have any further questions, you can also email me directly and ask. Okay. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.